for term 1306. So we're going to start off with a little demo of my app here. It's just for kind of keeping track of different chores and bills, kind of in a housemate, roommate kind of a deal. I thought it'd be kind of interesting and just a little simpler than last week, just so I could get everything to work. So right away it loads up, it looks into local storage and grabs whatever might be there. The edit item goes ahead and fills in the thing. I don't know. Just to show that the edit works, it saves it. We'll go back home, reload the page. Ta-da! Loading XML does that. It does read and load the XML data correctly, but the one thing that's kind of weird for me is this part. For every other one of these, there's one that's blank. Couldn't figure that out. I'm gonna have to dig into that, but all in all, it works. So does the JSON data right there. We'll quickly add a new one. That works. You can see there that I've done this a few times. We'll go ahead and make it payable to me. Saves the new one. Still looking at the JSON data. Reload. Boom. There's cheese fingers. Fantastic. That all works. A lot more went better this time than last month. I think mostly because I'm kind of just going over it again, and but it's definitely makes more sense now that I've been through it once before. I had everything fell into place fairly easily, just referring back to old code and things like that. I was able to work through this a lot easier than last time. The only thing that didn't go well was just the XML loading that in, but that was just a goof on my part, a typo in my XML file. Skills from previous courses, mostly debugging. That's probably the biggest skill that they've taught us, almost without really knowing it. Debug, always debug. So that's enough for the screen part, and I'll show a couple apps on my phone that do remote data and stuff. I'll be right back. And here we are for the app demo that I feel is for remote data and all that jazz. For one thing, Instagram. See there, Instagram clearly loads data from remote source. Your friends post up pictures and stuff. It's got to go fetch that stuff from their server, bring it back. I'm not real sure how they might be storing this data. There's just so many different ways that it could be done. It's hard to say, but I know for sure this is called Appy Gamer. I downloaded this one for E3 news and whatnot, and this one actually is very reminiscent of some of what we've done already. This grid layout for the pictures with the titles and stuff. We kind of did that back in VFW, as I recall. And so this one's a lot easier, I think, to kind of guess at how it's getting its data. It's most likely just aggregating it from a bunch of different RSS feeds. That's probably the easiest way, because as you go into different categories, it loads up and gives you the different articles, and you can tell that it gives a little icon on each article telling you who it's by. So I think this is just the easiest way to go about doing that would have been to just grab it from the available RSS feeds and crunch it all together. So those are my examples there. I especially like this one because I feel that this is something that any one of us could have done. So check that out. Have a good night, guys.